All right.
Hey!
Thursday.
Thirsty Thursday.
Here we are again. Hey everybody, it's Grayson.
And Tay.
Do-do-do. All right, back again. Back at it again. Three
That's
questions.
it. Hey, again, thanks for the support. I say it every time, but until you guys get bored of us, we're going to keep filming them. So keep your questions coming.
Here in our noisy warehouse.
Yeah. I don't think they're ever going to let us back in the interview room, but
I wouldn't either if I were
it's
them.
all right. Maybe if we get an official title or something, we can get back up in there.
All right, number one.
Number one, from Carrie White. Grayson, it's been fun to see you in the shop building project. It's been fun having you, to be honest.
I am having so much fun down there.
Do you have any new projects in the works or ones that you'd like to tackle?
Nope, nothing going on. Next.
Yeah. All right.
Just kidding.
Number two. Why is it so fun to do that? I think in interviews we have to constantly repeat what they ask us and rephrase it. So it's so refreshing to just say nope.
Yeah, right.
Like
yeah,
really
yes.
short,
One word answers.
Like a really short answer. Anyway, you've got to be dreaming something up.
Well, I am loving welding. And so
it's fantastic.
I'm just trying to learn how to do that and get a little bit more practice in there. And specifically at my house, other than little garden boxes, and actually I'm trying to install my black walnut slab that I got as a bar, which ended up drying a little bit warped, so I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
They do that.
So I need some. I might need some help, but yeah, I'll be installing a bar soon.
That's pretty good.
And hopefully getting downstairs some more too.
We'll get you straightened out. Yeah, come down anytime. It is so fun to teach people how to weld.
You're gonna be sorry you asked that.
Never. Because then you'll teach somebody else.
Yeah.
That's how it happens.
That's the beauty. Thank you. Okay, so number two, Doug Gross. When they want you to pick through a warehouse or a factory, do you have to make an offer on everything, or do you get some stuff for free? Every job is different, you know?
Yeah, that's the best answer.
We love it when we get free stuff, but it's not, that's not like how our business is run.
That's not the hope either.
We have to make an offer typically and negotiate for what we're taking, and every job is going to be different. So specifically picking through a warehouse, a lot of times you've seen the guys do this. We'll make piles of things, and we'll kind of say, okay, so you wanted this, and this for that. What about this price? And we'll and then they'll come back and
that's a good.
It's a negotiation.
It's a good strategy because usually the people are ready to get rid of their stuff.
Right.
Usually, and so when we do a bundle deal, it's easier for them to get rid of the things that they would have otherwise been like too proud of, when they're getting rid of a lot of it and they're getting a lot of space back, or they're getting a good chunk of change.
Right. We will definitely take donations, but it's hard to accept everything that comes through the door because you have to, as Mike says, house and feed it until you find a way to reuse it or until someone happens to buy it. And
well, and you just heard we got a new warehouse. Yeah, so we're out of space.
Can't store it all, but yes.
Sometimes, if we're getting a lot of stuff, some people will surprise us with things they have in the basement or whatever, and they'll give it to us, but don't be mistaken, we pay for everything.
It's not that
They just
often.
Considered what we paid them earlier to be worth it to, nothing's free. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Right.
But everyone's different, so it's fun to deal with people. Usually. All right, this last question is from Lachey Dillon, and she says, I make a lot of furniture from old barnwood, and I'm having a problem with the finish on the top. I use polyurethane, but they never come out as shiny and thick looking as y'all's. What do you all use? Thanks, Lachey.
That's awesome.
That is a great question, and the short answer is that everything's different. So depending on what kind of wood you have on the top,
for barnwood, like her specific.
For barnwood, and that still varies too. But if there's like a lot of deep weathering marks, and there's a lot of texture to it, the main thing to focus on is trying to get rid of some of the splinters. That really doesn't have much to do with the finishing, but when you get rid of all the loose fibers and stuff like that, the finish does tend to
stick better,
feel better, and stick better.
Yeah.
And it's just a better tactile
flatter
experience.
Finish,
when you touch it and put stuff on it. But water-based polyurethane is honestly what we've used for years. We kind of go back and forth recently, but we have a guard dog furniture paint that we use all the time now that we sell here. But Listen, a general water-based polyurethane is just fine. The key though is to prep the surface, and by that I mean if you sand it, blow all the sanding dust out of the valleys of the wood.
Right.
And do your first coat. Doesn't really matter, you can go as thick as you want, but then sand in between coats if you can.
That's something I learned recently too, which is so imperative. It gets it that absolute smooth baby's bottom soft.
Yeah,
finish.
because that first coat, what it's going to do is it's going to raise the fibers or the grain of the wood. And if you don't sand after that first coat, then you're going to, those fibers and grains are going to continue to protrude through the next coats. So at least sand after that first coat. And yeah, I mean, depending on the use, now there's some limitations. If you want to keep this outside, you're probably going to have to go to like a 2-stage sort of lacquer or oil-based finish, just because you're dealing with weather and you're dealing with UV light and things like that. And a bar top may be different too, because there's a lot of wear and tear. But there's like water-based finishes are super good nowadays, and you can get some really, really durable finishes. So prep is the secret.
Prep,
so,
and I think a lot of layers, like,
Yeah.
people sometimes think maybe 1 or 2 layers, and that's
No.
sometimes won't cut it if you really want that super smooth. And if you're going for a shiny, I mean, that's just based on whatever kind of finish that you picked out.
Yeah, like satin, semi-gloss, gloss, eggshell, all that. But a nice fine grit sandpaper, and like some tables we do have like 5 to 7 layers on them. So
Right.
you cannot do it too much.
It's absolutely true. Very
Good luck.
cool. Thank you guys again.
Thank y'all.
Have a good weekend. And if you have any questions, keep them coming.
Keep them coming. We're thirsty. See you next week.